Allow me to introduce myself to you. My name is Mercy Langston. It used to be Mercy Hammer until I was adopted. The Langston, they did more than adopt me. They changed my life. They may even have saved my life. I learned to survive and depend on myself. I had no choice. Not until the Langston moved into my neighborhood and everything changed into sunlight, breaking through an ending storm. Dad, you really shouldn't be sleeping like this. It's not good for you. He hasn't been sleeping well lately. I worried about his health. I think he may be spending too much time in the past. I see you brought out that photo of me again. Do you remember that day? The day we first met?
You were so young. A precious jewel hidden in a very dark place. I remember you followed me around the neighborhood as I took photos to document the area. You begged me to take your photo. But I kept telling you I would need your parents' permission. And then you said, that is not fair. Since, I forget exactly, what was it?
I said I had no father, and my mother would not care. I think she might want someone to take me off her hands.
She might want someone to take me off her hands. I do remember. It was the saddest thing I ever heard. And what made it so sad was that you said it so matter of fact.
I was being honest.
You was always direct and honest. But on this day, I didn't know how serious you were. I did not know you or know anything about your life or your mother. It was not until later I could understand what you had to deal with.
I was just a scruffy 9-year-old, just following you all over the neighborhood. But you did promise me that if I ever needed anything.
But I did promise you I would help you with anything, just as long as your mother did not mind. And then you looked away, like you were alone and lost. And I took your photo.
I would have let you take 1,000 photos. It was the first time anyone had ever paid so much attention to me. I didn't want the day to end. Oh, I didn't want to go home. After that day with you, I knew there would never be anything for me at home.
And then came that night. A dark night of pouring rain and a knocking at our door. And when Beth went to open the door, I remember her saying she expected it would be you standing there.
I remember Mrs. Langston did not seem to be surprised to see me. She just said, come in out of the rain and get warm by the furnace. Oh, I was shivering, but it was not from the rain.
Oh, it must have been horrible for you to see your mother laying lifeless on the floor.
I tried to shake her to wake her, but she was not sleeping.
And then the ambulance came and the police. Yeah, I was surprised the police allowed us to keep you that night.
I guess you made their work a little easier. Less paperwork.
Yeah, that was the night that changed everything for us all. Beth and my lives became full lives when you entered our family.
Mine too. I often wondered, what would I have become if I had not run to your house that night? I wondered if my life would end more like Jack's.
Then came Jack.
Then came Jack. It's impossible to imagine how such brief encounter could change so many lives in one devastated manner. Jack Dunlap was the storm that came up suddenly and leave a path of desolation. situation. You are looking better. How long has it been? All clean? Almost 2 years?
No! Get out of here!
Now, what kind of greeting is that?
Same nightmare. Every damn night.
Oh, the old demons are coming back to torture you.
It's more fucking torturous than eating a goddamn fix. It's always you. You keep coming back. Every day I think I'm gonna get past you. And then the night comes and the nightmares. When will you let me go?
It's not me. It's you.
Get out of my head! Sometimes I think I was better off being high all the time. Being in the real day, got too many memories.
Memories? At least you have memories. What do I have?
I didn't used to have to think. Now that's all I've got, and it all just keeps going around. Stuff I don't want to think keep flooding my brain.
It's your past catching up to you. Now you have to deal with all those feelings coming to surface. It's part of becoming human.
It's time this all ended. I need to move on. I've got to move on.
To move on, you must follow the steps. You need to write to Amstead.
I've tried to finish writing this so many times, but I ain't even sure if I have a right to ask him for anything.
You are the only one who can ask him. It has to come from you. It will be for him as well as for you.
Just pen and paper. Another step. That's all I can do.
Once it's all out of your hands, it will all be in his hands.
It's done.
Not quite.
What could he possibly have to write down for me?
Maybe you should open it.
How could he put words together on paper, fold the paper, insert it into an envelope, address the envelope, put a stamp on it, and actually mail it to me?
Maybe you should open it. Don't, please, open it. Read it.
To Mr. Amstead Langston. I know this letter gonna be hard to read, almost as hard for me to write, but it's something I gotta do if I want my life to change. Now I know you ain't gonna care about my life, I get it, but this is something I need to do. I want to write more, but don't want to waste your time if you ain't gonna read more. So I figure I'll leave it like this. You write to me if this is okay with you, then I write more. Jack Dunlap.
Not bad. What are you going to do?
Write to him? He wants me to write to him after what he did to you?
Well, if you are going to put it on me, then I say write back.
I would rather personally deliver a letter to the devil.
You wouldn't be able to handle the heat. Just write him and let the couriers take the heat.
What could I possibly have to say to him?
Say what you want and let him decide what to do with it.
You know, if he wants to hear from me, then he's gonna hear it all.
You will never know unless you open it.
To Jack Dunlap, I begin this letter with hatred and anger. What could you possibly want from me? I did not think that you deserve a letter, but now I think that I deserve this. I have nothing but hatred and anger. There's nothing but hatred and anger in this letter. If you're looking for salvation, there's nothing more I can do. Amstead Langston.
He's right. What more could I write? How could I expect any more?
Typical Jack Dunlap. Giving up even before you get started. Don't be such a coward. Take responsibility of your actions. How do you expect to fight those demons if you don't start fighting?
Dear Mr. Langston,
I understand you not wanting to read nothing, all right. And I don't expect to change the past. I want to change the future. I want to change who I am. Now, I know you ain't gonna care about my life. I get it. But this is something I need to do. I'm supposed to reach out to people like you and say I'm sorry and make amends. I don't know how I could possibly make amends to you, but I know I have to ask. I want you to know that I'm not the same person I was. In these 2 years since we last saw each other, I've been clean. I'm thinking different and seeing things different. I know you got no reason to write back. I just hope you do. Jack Dunlap.
Amends? He must be more insane than he was 2 years ago. How could he possibly make amends?
That's a good question. You should write that in a letter.
He destroyed this family. Doesn't he understand how much he has done? How can he not know how much pain he has inflicted?
Get it out. Get it all out. You need it. Maybe even more for him. Remind him of what he has done and make him face up to it.
To Jack Dunlap.
What do you expect from me? Do you know what you have done to this family? There is no amends for what you have done. There is none at all for what you have done. If you are looking for salvation, you will not find it in my writing. I'm afraid to write more. This is all I have. Amston Langston.
At least you wrote back.
Is that it?
I guess I couldn't expect much more.
Then you will never found peace. What are you gonna do?
You should know who I am now. That I'm not the same.
How will he know that?
Dear Mr. Langston,
I want you to know that I'm not the same person I was. I'm trying hard to change. If I could give you my life so that I could take back everything that happened, I would. I wish I could do that for you. There are things here that I could use to end what little life I have left. Now, if that would give you some comfort, I will do it. If your world would be better by me not being in it, I will give you my life. Respectfully, Jack.
I see you got another letter.
It's Jack Dunlap.
I hope what you say is true. However, if true, I cannot accept your offer of giving up your life. All life is very precious. Mercy would not want me to seek vengeance.
Nothing good's come from vengeance. He taught me that. He said he learned that from the marches of Dr. King.
I was a freedom marcher, and I saw what anger can do. Vengeance doesn't end. It just reproduces itself. I hope you find a way to make a change. I always found that gardening was a way to find peace. It always gave me some comfort and hope. If you nurture a garden, you will reap the bounty of what you have tended. Sincerely, Amstead.
He's trying to help you. I know he would.
Dear Hempstead, I noticed you ended your last letter with your first name. I hope it's okay for me to address this one the same. I'm gonna take your advice. You know, there's an old garden here, it's in need of tending. I think I'll try to bring it back to life. If you have some pointers, I'd be grateful. That is, if you feel right about how helping me. If not, though, I understand. Gratefully, Jack.
Jack, I am no expert gardener, but whatever I know, I will share. For one thing, it's good to grow tomatoes near beans, any kind of bean. Even sweet peas will do. They lock nitrogen in the soil, which the tomatoes need. I'm not sure what the beans get out of it, but the sweet peas is always something to look forward to when they bloom. Let me know how the tomatoes turn out. The ones you grow are always the sweetest. Amstead.
Dear Amstead, thank you for your advice. I realize, though, I never asked about you. How's everything with you? How's Mrs. Langston? Yeah, I don't want to pry, and you don't have to give me your personal info. I just didn't want to be selfish. Respectfully, Jack.
Well, we are getting by. Time does not heal all wounds. But as time goes by, the pain is less. Thank you for asking about Mrs. Langston. She has found solace in our church. I am grateful that she has begun to attend once more. Church gives me some comfort, but it's the garden that gives me the most hope. You should have some ripe tomatoes by now. Have you had any yet? You will soon learn that the effort that you put into the garden will make a measurable difference in the quality of vegetable you get out of it.
Dear Amstead, the tomatoes are almost there and I cannot wait. It's the first time in my life that I'm taking care of something besides myself. I suppose gardening's a lot like raising youngins. You know, lots of kids in my neighborhood never got the good tending. Guess you could say we needed more good gardeners more than parents. Well, I wonder if I would have grown different, if things had been different. Guess I'll never know. I suppose no matter what, I would have always ended up here. It was always gonna be me. Nothing more, nothing less. Jack.
We both know that is not true.
Well, we are who we are no matter what.
You know that is not true. Jack and I came from the same place, but my life was different. You and Beth made the difference. Had you known Jack, you would have made the difference. You nurtured me and cared for me.
I like to think that we made a difference, even for a short time. I hope we changed your life.
You know you did. My life may not have gone as it was planned, but what I had with you and Beth made me a better person. If Jack had that same love and care that you showered on me, he would have been a different person.
Jack, we are all products of our past. What we live and experience will form our future. Well, we have to realize that at some point, we have to take control of our past with the effort of not letting it shape our life. I hope and I believe that you are reaching that turning point. I don't know much about your life except that you did come from the same neighborhood as Merci. And I wonder sometimes about Mercy's life had she not come into mine in Beth's life. Not to say that we were perfect parents, but I like to think that we made a difference. You know, I like to think that your life would have gone down a different path had you had more support. You know, I hope you are working hard on making that change. The first steps would be to let go of the past and focus on the future. You are in control now. The future is what you make. You know, each letter I write, I am beginning to let go of the past. You should also.
This is encouraging. Make him understand. Let him know what made you that person you once were.
Dear Amstead, if I can give you anything, I want it to be the proof that you made a difference in Mercy's life. You should already know this, but if you have any doubts, I offer you my life as proof. I would like to forget my life, but I can't. I have to remember that my past made me who I was. I want you to know who I was and who I ain't no more. It won't change anything, but it might help you understand. I can't ever remember anything of joy or being happy. The only memory I have of my father was him throwing my mother up against the wall and leaving. I never saw him again after that. My mother and me moved around. She'd get with some new guy, some new drug, until he'd run out of drugs, or died, or found someone younger. Then I became her whipping boy whenever nothing turned out the way she wanted. Then when I got older, she started selling me to get her fix. I was given whatever would knock me out so that I wouldn't feel anything, so that I wouldn't know what was going on. God, so that I couldn't see, so that I couldn't feel. I didn't want to be in the world anymore. Then, when my mom had her overdose, I started stealing and selling whatever I could do to make my own fixes.
I wish I could change things, but I can't. I'm sorry, Jack.
Is that enough? Is it?
Why?
That's a question he can answer, and only a question you can ask.
I know it must have been difficult to put down those memories. It did give me an understanding of your circumstances. I sometimes wonder if Mercy's life would have turned out similarly if she not had come into mine in Beth's life. But it did not tell me why. You know, why? After you took what you taken, why did you have to take her life? You know, that was the one question that was not asked at the trial. The one question I needed answered. I deserve that much from you.
Tell me why Mercy had to die, Amstead.
You know he would eventually ask that question.
Why? Why ask why? It's obvious. I broke in, she came home, she saw me, I killed her. Why the hell ask why?
It wasn't that simple. Don't you remember Jack Dunlap? You were there 3 times in one night. Not the first or the second time. He wants to know why. You need to answer it. Why did I die?
What difference would it make? It ain't gonna change anything. It ain't gonna make any damn bit of difference to nobody.
He needs to understand. He needs a reason. You need it. You need to release where you're hiding it from. You need to chase those demons so they can go for good. So I can go for good. I guess I need it also. Do it for me. Release me. You owe me at least that.
Amstead. I don't think this will help much, but I'm guessing I need to get it out. The man that met Merci was not me. It was the old me. The one who didn't care about anyone or anything. I needed to get fixed. I needed money. The only way I could think of to get money was to steal. That night at Mercy's was all an accident. It weren't planned. I didn't target the house. I didn't even know what was inside. The window was open. It was just left open. It was easy. No one was home. I wanted to get in and grab whatever I could sell and get out. I wish I had been quicker, but I wasn't. Then she came home. When she came in, I knocked her down.
I didn't even get a chance to react. I couldn't see anything. When I fell down, I lost my glasses. Everything was a blur.
Her glasses fell off. I could tell she was having trouble seeing. I knew she couldn't see me real good. I grabbed her by the arm and shoved her in her kitchen chair. I told her, I just want the stereo. I was gonna leave with it, and she just needed to sit tight and not make a sound.
I was so scared to move. I just wish you would leave.
She nodded yes. After tying her down, I grabbed up the stereo and I left. That was it. That was all.
That was all? You know there was more. Tell it all.
It should have been all. I got my fix, but it wore off quick. I needed more. I went back again. There weren't any cops. The window was still open. She was still sitting there tied to the chair.
I tried to free myself. I couldn't. I tried to yell, but the gag muffled my voice. No one could have heard me. I never knew you would have come back.
I told her I needed more. She said all she had was what I could see and some money and jewelry in the bedroom. I took it all. When I got back to the kitchen, she said she'd feel better if I used the money for food.
I tried to help you, but that just made you more angry.
I started yelling. I'm not sure why. She was offering me something, I got upset. She even told me there was cold chicken in the fridge. I took it. I still can't believe she was feeding the man who was taking everything from her. She just sat there not saying anything, just listening to me eat. Something was still making me upset though. I grabbed up the portable TV and I left. I'd scored that night. I'd had enough. I was feeling good.
Good for you, but you are not done. You need to tell it all. That was the second time. What about the third trip? Tell him everything. He needs to forgive you. He needs to know what to forgive you for.
But it weren't enough. I went back a third time. Still no cops. Still an open window. And still she was sitting there tied to her kitchen chair. When I got in and saw her there almost sleeping in the chair, I knew I needed something else. I knew I needed to take something else from her.
You can stop now. You have to face it. Tell it all.
The details don't matter. It ain't gonna change anything.
It won't change the past, but it will make a difference.
There are things I never want to speak on. Things that I would rather forget. But I'm thinking for us. For us, we need to get past these things. How you have reached out to me when I never thought you would. And I need for you to know what I did before we can go on with whatever this thing is here that we're doing. When I got in there the third time and saw her there sleeping in that chair, I knew what I wanted was her. I untied her and she woke up. I started pulling her towards the bedroom. I think she realized what was going on because she started struggling for the first time.
It was my first time being scared. You were so close to me then. I could see the anger in your eyes. I tried to persuade you so you could stop, so you could change your mind.
She asked me to stop. She said I didn't need to do this. She said she wouldn't report what I had done, but that I had to stop. That up until this point, I had not hurt anyone. She was trying to give me a way out. She was trying to help me.
I knew it was coming. Like knowing death is near.
It just made me angry. A black girl trying to help me. A white man don't need no black girl's help.
All you had to do was leave. That was all you had to do.
I threw her on the bed.
And I beg you not to do it.
I wanted to hurt her. I wanted to take everything from her. The anger overcame me. I ripped her clothes off. I stood over her as I unzipped my pants. I felt no desire for her. Only hatred. Hatred for my mother and the men she sold me to. Hatred for the life I had gotten. And here was this little black girl who thought she could take it all away from me. I hated that she had a better life than me. I wanted to take it all away from her.
Even then, I pleaded. Even then, you could have walked away. Even then, I even tried to help you.
She told me she was a social worker and could help me turn my life around. I slapped her. I could see the fear and the tears. She was starting to cry. I told her to shut up and I struck her again. I felt the anger filling up inside me. I wanted to hurt her. I wanted to take everything from her. So I ripped her clothes off. I stood over her as I unzipped my pants. I wanted her to feel all the anger I had felt in my life. I jumped upon her and forced myself into her. I wanted it to hurt. I wanted her to feel all the pain I had gotten in my life.
I felt it all. All those years in one moment.
A lifetime of pain and hatred. It was a lifetime of anger in one moment.
It was a lifetime of anger forcing into me. There was no more room for anything else. But you were not done yet, Jack Dunlap. You weren't done then, and you are not done now. Finish it! Finish it once and for all! Tell my father how you took everything away from me!
When it was done, I stood next to her. She was whimpering. I told her to keep quiet. She pulled the covers up around her and nodded her head. She said she wouldn't say anything.
I said, please leave.
She asked me to leave. I ripped the covers from off of her. I said, you think you're still in charge here? You think you can still tell me what to do?
I didn't tell you. I asked you. You could have walked away and I could have lived with everything.
I jumped upon her and I grabbed her with both my hands around her throat. She struggled, but she wasn't strong enough.
Mercy, mercy.
I saw the panic in her eyes fade to nothing. Even when I knew it was done, I still held on. I stood there looking down on her. I could feel that every muscle in my body was rigid.
And I was still not enough.
But it wasn't enough.
When you stood over me, what were you looking at?
I stood there looking down on her. But all I saw was my mother lying limp in her bed. My thought of all the times I had seen her like that, and all the times I wanted to pay her back for what she had done to me.
So, everything you wanted to do to her, you never got the chance to do it, so you used me?
I rolled her over and forced myself into her.
Mercy. Poor Mercy.
I wanted it to hurt. Even if I knew she couldn't feel anything, I still wanted to hurt her. When it was done, there weren't no pleasure in it, only anger. And it didn't make the anger go away. I took everything from her, and still I had nothing.
And still, I was nothing to you.
She was still. I rolled her over and her eyes were still open. And even then, I saw the pity in them. I felt the rage rising up in me. I grabbed her hands, but I felt the warmness leaving her body. I folded her arms down and I covered her with the sheets.
This was the moment you was almost a human.
I stood there longer than I should have, but I couldn't. After some time, I got up and left. I didn't take anything out with me. I'd taken all I could.
It wasn't him. It's not him now. Even then, it wasn't him. He was what life made him.
All she wanted was to help you. She did not deserve this. No one should die like this. All she wanted was to help.
But I could not help him. I was a piece of object. It wasn't me he wanted to kill.
What is left? He took away my whole life. This is insane. I mean, how could I have possibly had this engage in this exchange of words with such a person?
Because of the person you are. Because of the marches you made. Because of the person one person you rescued when I was needed. Now there is another.
How much more can I do? I lost everything. The price is too painful.
What is the price of mercy? What is the value of forgiveness if it's giving too easily? What I had and what I became was because of all you gave me. Had you known Jack then, you would have changed his life also. But there is time. With your guidance, he can be a better person.
I'm just an old man who's lost everything. I have nothing more to give, especially nothing to someone who took everything from me.
He took one life. Don't let him take another. You have Beth, and she needs your hold. From the words I've read, you've seen the potential of change, the potential of forgiveness. You must go on.
If not, I will completely disappear. Don't bury me in pain and anger. Give my life and death a meaning.
Jack, I am a father without children. And all I have is memories. But it's because of those memories that I continue to write to you. I don't want the memories of Mercy to wither away. But I know if I hold on to the grief and anger, her memories will be tainted. I want to honor Mercy. Keep her alive as she always were. But I will no longer consider her death when I look at her photo. You know, she would not want me to seek vengeance and waste away in anger. She would want me to live as I always did, strive as I always do. You know, a father can't escape what he has taught his children. If I become unfaithful to my words now, then where's this left? I cannot ignore them now. You know, by ignoring everything I told Mercy that I was, I have created this self-imposed prison built on choices formed by bitterness. You know, by holding on to anger and resentment with both fists, I have allowed you to control my life. By not being able to forgive, I have lost part of my life. It is as though I have taken poison with the hope that it would kill you. But all I was doing was killing Mercy. You know, the only way I could save Mercy is to offer forgiveness.
In the hope that it'll give you the courage to face your past and forgive yourself. I want you to help me honor the memory of Mercy and keep her alive. I hope you can forgive yourself for what you've done. For in the memory of Mercy, I have forgiven you. With all sincerity, Joseph Olson. I wanted these words, but I never expected them. How could a father do this?
A father who believes in what he teaches is only a father he can be. What will you do with it?
I don't know what I can do with what's left of my life. But I do know there's no place left in it for anger. There is nothing in my past that I can't forgive. I found peace in that.
You should let Amstead know that on your next letter.
I will let him know just how much he's done for me. Tomorrow. Now, I want to rest. For the first time in a long time, I think I can rest.
How strange. It seems brighter. As though there's a light inside of it. How bright you are.
So we're hoping for a little bit of talk back to get some information from the audience. Let me bring up a couple of chairs here. Does anyone have any questions, any remarks?
Powerful, very cool. Yeah. And a little bit reminiscent, or I feel what's happening now in some of this too. Things that are happening out in the world. So yeah. So yeah. So
That was mentioned yesterday also.
Yeah.
I was wondering, how did you feel about the character of Jack by the end of the play? Anyone? Any changes?
No.
No.
There's no wrong answer. You can still hate him.
Yeah, no, I just hated them all the way through.
Oh, I never hated him. I knew he was a victim.
I don't think it changed for me. But there was a question that I had with regards to this, because it seems like it happens in a void, which is great, but at the same time, I wasn't sure. You talked about Dr. King. Am I down south? I hear the accent. Am I in Chicago? Am I in Boston? Am I in rural, North Carolina? Where exactly is the play happening? To me, mattered because of the dynamics of the country and regional dynamics. So your accent kind of cued me, but I was like, well, they don't have that accent, so did she move? Did something happen where you came from the same place but your family moved around like his? I felt like that part would have brought more life to Jack's story. Like, did he grow up? I knew he grew up, being sold and all that, but was it a what kind of environment did he live in, like where he walked down the street every day? To his church, his community. Those things I think really matter, especially now. And you're talking about today, like regions matter to me. I don't know, but I just wanted to know where y'all were from and where it was happening. That was kind of confusing, and it made me wonder about you. Like, I wasn't sure. So that was why I couldn't connect with you fully, because I really just wasn't sure where you, like you said, you wanted to change. I couldn't, because I was like, where is he from? Like,
Well, this is loosely based on a true story. And the true story is the father is actually a white Mormon who heard about Martin Luther King and wanted to work with him. So he moved into Martin Luther King's neighborhood. And he met this little girl and adopted her from that neighborhood. And Merci and Jack were supposed to have grown up in the same neighborhood. And the reason why Jack's dialogue is so much different is because for me, when I write a script, I want there to be different voices. I would like each character to have a different voice. So Jack to me was just someone who was just completely undereducated and just left to be on his own. And it's this ideal that Merci came from the same neighborhood, but she got a different influence. So her life was different than what Jack's life was like.
that makes complete sense. When you talk about the Dr. King connection, for me, I don't know, like, I think that's a real big part of the back of the story that you know. And now that I know, I'm like, oh, it kind of, like, historical fiction kind of sits with me. I wish I knew that about his story too, because I think that's a real powerful part of your story, whether you're white, black, green, or whatever. And that's part of your story and part of your story. And now I know you're in Alabama, and I'm like, oh, that's a big part of, I mean, jail in Alabama is not really pleasant. You know, it's a different thing. So the criminal justice system there, the electric chair, all that stuff, like, I mean, it's just such a powerful stuff that went on and still goes on. So I wish that would be more. I don't know how, but I want to hear more about that connections.
Yeah,
Well,
more of
it's
the
a
puzzle
40-minute
pieces.
play, so something could be added.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it full length.
Right.
So this is the third time I saw it,
Yeah.
and it got fuller every time. Jack's story got a lot worse tonight.
Yeah.
The atrocities.
Yeah.
But what you just explained now explained something that had me just like confused. He would say, pain he has inflicted, what he has done, would not want me. That's not how people talk. Most people talk, what he did, but your language now, if you're trying to be a educated guy, Mormon, well, that explains a lot of the language being so formal, I guess is the term.
Wait, and a lot of times when I have different characters, sometimes what I'll do is give one character all of the conjunctions, and another character may not use conjunctions at all, just to show a difference in their voices.
Okay. That's all I noticed, but thanks.
Sure.
So did Mercy then move out of the South to be with her adopted parents?
No, because the adopted father moved into her
Okay.
neighborhood to be closer to Martin Luther King.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, going along with what you said, helping to tie some of those things together would add another dimension to your character specifically, and the impetus for maybe just like how your life transformed and how you were kind of left to suffer or languish in a community that wasn't serving you, and how you led to retribution to kind of deal with it.
Okay, so you get a feeling that most people, their feelings didn't change about Jack. Were you willing to accept the father forgiving him? Was there enough in his speech that you could accept that that's a possible choice?
Definitely.
I don't know. For me, I felt like there needed to be more. There was something more of a reason, because even though there was background behind that, I feel like it's so difficult to forgive someone who's done such an atrocious thing, especially to such deep, rich detail. And beyond that, there's so much of a big history of black women being raped by white men that it just goes so deep and deeply entrenched into to black history that you feel that the father would feel an even deeper type of connection that goes or a deep sense of anguish and frustration that just goes beyond his like maybe his own values, and just sort of anger that he just can't contain. And so for me, I feel like there definitely needed to be more of a reason, or even just more of an argument back and forth between that. Actually, I should have answered the question before as well, but like about Jack, my feelings definitely didn't really change with Jack. I thought that you did such a good job with Jack that I hate him even more than I did
Yeah.
with
And that happens, yeah. Yeah.
And
I knew exactly where you're coming from with that, yes.
Well,
that happens
one
a lot.
of my favorite lines in the play is when the father says, "A father cannot escape what he has taught his children." So all of Mercy's life, he's been teaching her about being against vengeance, and teaching her to be, more forgiving, and to find mercy, and to treat people well. And even when she's about ready to be attacked, she's still trying to help him, still trying to persuade him not to do what she knows that he wants to do. And I just believe that was the father's arc. He went through all that grief and misery and anger, and he got to a point where he said, I have to be the man I told Mercy I was. And I think that was his belief that he had to forgive.
Well, don't they say, you know, when you forgive, it's more for the father to let go of whatever it is that he was dealing with. So the forgiveness is not really,
Right.
to me, so much to save him.
Right.
Whatever he's gonna do with his life when he come out of jail, if he ever, because I don't know, it didn't say how long he went to jail for. So anyway, so it won't matter. The forgiveness was for the father, for him to
Yes.
move on, so that he can, and then for her to feel like she can be released and
Release,
go
there
be
you
at
go.
peace.
Yes.
So to me, it really doesn't matter what happened with Jack. Don't matter. Whether he wants to take that to change himself, that's something he's gonna have to do, if that's what he wants to do.
But did any of Jack's past give the father the understanding that what happened with Jack, was it really in his control? Was it really who he was supposed to be? And that might made it easier for the father to forgive. And I do agree with you. I think forgiveness is more for the person giving forgiveness.
You know, I think did it, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but it wasn't about his backstory for me with the understanding of the relationship. That relationship was made about gardening.
Yes.
That's where the relationship happened. That's where it sprouted. It didn't sprout from him. His background was sad and it maybe tilled the soil a little bit to make the garden grow. But it was really that, there was a really powerful message about finding common ground through like something as simple as gardening with people who are angry at each other, people who are diametrically opposed to each other. You've hurt, but yet you both can grow from gardening. You know, I think there's something in that that's really beautiful, that you found that in the play, and I thought that was like the greatest part of the play. Aside from all the other stuff, that was just like, wow. You know, there's a lesson there that you can really take away. I don't know. So that's why I think that's where it came from, not so much his story.
It definitely happened before I heard his backstory.
Yeah.
So, you know, with Mercy's subconsciously reaching out to us, either one of us, and helping me to get back to who I were as a person and being there for others. I did that, like you said, it was that change where I always found gardening.
It humanized the relationship. I could see it in you.
And so by him,
Yeah.
going back and forth to garden, it's like, okay, we can relate this way.
Yeah.
But then, of course, that lingering question was there for the character, which is why.
And don't forget, he was not, although he did hurt Mercy, but it really wasn't Mercy he wanted to hurt. It was his mother. But because he did not get a chance to do what he wanted to do to his mother, which is very crazy because he would have raped his mother, you know? Yeah, but Mercy happened to be the victim there. But if we look into reality, we're gonna put all this thing aside. Even till this day, there are kids, when they get abused at their home, they take it out on another kid at school. And it's not the other kid they're taking it out on. It's because they don't have the power to hurt their parents or whoever is hurting them yet. So whoever they feel like they have the power over, and that's not even gonna defend themselves back, that's what they're gonna take it at.
It's like a misplayed anger.
Yes, like I can give a good example like I gave last night, and I finally, can talk about that. I was born in Haiti, and I came here when I was 11 years old. And the first word my father said to me was, I am going to beat you every day of my life. When he said that to me, I'm 11 years old, yeah, whatever. Well, guess what? What he said, he meant it. He signed behind what he said. The second night of me being in the United States, this man pimp slapped me. And mind you, I'm a big girl now, but I was a tiny little person who had nothing. Not a grown woman, just a little tiny little person. I didn't even look like I was 11 years old. He started beating me every day, slapping me like I was his street person. He didn't know why he was beating me, but he was beating me, slapping me every day. From the age of 11 years old to the age of 19 years old, this man has been slapping me and beating me, ripping my clothes off, beat me with a belt, beat me with a switch, for no reason. I got to the point where I accepted that beating. I let that beating make me a strong person. And as I got older, I couldn't hurt him. But when my brothers would say something to me or do any little thing, all I wanted to do was to pull a gun and shoot my brothers. But is it my brothers that I really wanted to shoot? No. Every time I look at them, I see my father into them, and I wanted to hurt them. But thank God, with the prayers of my mother, I'm a strong believer, with prayer. And thank God that never did happen. But it hurted me till it stopped hurting me in 2023. And how it stopped. At 19 years old, when he slapped me in front of a whole congregational church. He ripped my clothes. My body was well developed then. I had a little body on me. Then he ripped my clothes. Can you imagine all these men seeing my body? He slapped me and I stood up. I said, I have two choices. What I wanted to do was to pull a gun and shoot my brothers. But is it my brothers that I really wanted to shoot? No. Every time I look at them, I see my father into them. And I wanted to hurt them. But thank God, with the prayers of my mother, I'm a strong believer, with prayer. And thank God that never did happen. But it hurt me till it stopped hurting me in 2023. And how it stopped. At 19 years old, when he slapped me in front of a whole congregational church. He ripped my clothes. My body was well developed then. I had a little body on me. Then he ripped my clothes. Can you imagine all these men seeing my body? He slapped me. And I stood up. I said, I have two choices. I'm going to free myself by running away, or I'm going to hurt you, which you're going to kill me. It's either you kill me tonight or I run away. I wanted to die. I tried to commit a lot of suicide, But thank God I never did. I took that last beating, I left. And as I got older, my pain turned into strength. I kept doing better. I could have stayed in the street, but I kept doing better, do this, and everything. To make the story even shorter, I moved to California, trying to find myself. And I searched for therapy. I went to those places where I said, I need help. I went to a clinic for no reason, and I just walked to a nurse. I said, please help me, because something is telling me to kill myself. Right then and there, they got me help. They helped me for such a long time. A couple of months later, I got a phone call from my brother and said, hey, I need help with Dad. Dad got a stroke, had a stroke. Packed all my stuff, left everything behind, drove. 34 hours of driving by myself. And as I was driving, I'm like, what am I doing? This man beats me all my life. Now I have to hurt him. But then I wanted to take the revenge back because now I have the power. When I got there, I couldn't do it. I could not take the revenge because he lost his vocal now. What good it is? Is nothing gonna make me feel good, Then a week before he died, I just had to forgive him. And I forgave him.
He didn't know if I did or not, but I forgave him. And he could see it. And I could see the regret maybe in his face, like, oh my God, I can't talk, I can't do nothing. My daughter is helping me. This is the person I said I never wanted a daughter. And then when I did forgive him, a couple of days later, he died. And I felt so good, not because he died, but because I forgave him. See, I didn't do it for him. I had to free myself. Because if I did not forgive him, I would have been still miserable, probably would not play this part. But I freed myself. So, to go back to this story, Dad had to forgive in order to free him from all the pain and free me, because they still kept me on this earth. I could never rest. And as you guys can see, the moment he forgave himself and forgave Jack, and Jack forgave himself and forgave the father, I look into the light. I'm finally happy. So I think that's the whole meaning of this story, is about the forgiveness. Because we're forgetting. Yes, it is very hard to forgive, especially when somebody hurt your only baby girl. You know, forgiveness don't happen overnight, you know, but it does feel good when you do it. And I think that's what the purpose of this play is. How do you feel? It's up to him now. He probably still gonna have some, because he's gonna be locked up for good, you know. And he got a lot to still think about. But he don't have to worry about me coming to his dream anymore, because I was just a ghost. That was his karma, you know, coming to him and telling him, you need to repent, repent, repent. But I needed to save myself, I needed to save my dad. And he needed to save himself and to release me. That makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for sharing your story.
Mm-hmm.
Any other comment?
Now you have another play to write.
I have a...
She's working on a book.
That's great.
Good.
I have a question for you, and it's gonna be a really hard question, and you might not like it. I'm sitting here in my chair watching a strong black woman that I am friends with and know, and play this character. So I know you know her. Is it strange to have your story and that whole thing being told by two men in front of you, to have them on the stage and have Merci be at the mercy of them releasing you? Do you think that that's a part of the story, or does it hit you as a woman who's up there and having to, like you said, you need them to release you? Like, does that do anything to you as a woman? I know you know the character.
Oh God, yes.
Man, even to the first day, you know, when I got introduced to this script, I read it, and automatically all I seen was me in there. Mm-hmm. I felt like, I was like, he know my business. Get out my business. You all up in there. I felt it, and tears could not stop. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to back down, but I said, no. I have to help some of these women out there, some of the girls. They need me, and it does not matter what color it is. I had to do it. Yes. Even when I was on stage yesterday, I cried. Today I was a big girl. I'm getting over stuff. But
You're
yesterday
helping yourself too.
Yes. Yesterday I cried because there was a moment when he said he didn't have no pleasure of pleasing me. He forced every anger in me. Those things happen. You know, I may not got raped, but my dad did. This man beat me like, and I never got in trouble in school. I was such a good girl. I'm still is. And
for somebody to pour, and my dad a big, tall man. So imagine getting pimp slapped by a big man, and that's not even a stranger. That's your own blood. So I had to, put my story in Mercy's spot. And I had to listen to these men because it did hurt.
Listen to them talk about it.
Yeah, listen to talk about it. Listen, trust me, I wanted to touch him. I wish the ghost could touch him and really pinch them and make them, that's what you get. But yeah, it did. It was hard to watch them, talking about Mercy and what Mercy had to do so Mercy can get released. Yeah, so I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Makes sense.
But don't you think it was your strength and what you were saying and what you were doing, you were basically initiating their dialogue, their actions. You were in more control than they were.
Yes. And I feel like it was me that made all of this happen.
Okay. Yes.
It would, trust me, it was not going to be happen if I didn't step up and say, now what kind of greeting is it? That's them old demons coming back to torture you. Because I was going to torture him until he tell my daddy what he did to me, everything he took from me. Because my daddy was suffering and I did not want my dad to die in pain and anger. I wanted my dad to be free. And I knew that. To save both of these men, especially the one I love, I had to get through him. Although he was stubborn, but I had to keep in order for me to save the person that I love.
And your father would not have written the first letter had you not been behind him saying,
Yeah.
only a question you can ask.
Yeah. He couldn't see me, but he felt me because I was right behind his neck. Get it out, Daddy, get it out!
Wait till you see the video, because when you're behind Jack, screaming at him,
I know.
and you should see the pain you put Jack in.
I had to get through him. Although he was stubborn, but I had to keep in order for me to save the person that I love.
And your father would not have written the first letter had you not been behind him
Yes.
saying,
Yeah.
only a question you can ask.
Yeah. And he couldn't see me, but he felt me because I was right behind his neck. Get it out, Daddy, get it out!
And wait till you see the video, because when you're behind Jack, screaming at him,
I know.
and you should see the pain you put Jack in.
I have a question. How did you feel playing that part?
When I read it the first time, I was scared. It was hard because I feel like to play a character, you need to find a way to relate to them in some sense, find the humanity in them. I think what I struggled with the most was the last thing he does, the necrophilia. Because to me, Joseph, that is just so inhumane. It's unhuman to me. I can't like wrap my head around it. So yeah, it was hard. But the actor in me wanted the challenge, and I thought it was a good story that needed to be told. Yeah, I just.
You have to put everything aside.
Yeah, I just had to put everything aside and just...
And do it.
And do it, yeah.
Well, you also had to have the courage to take on that part.
Right.
I mean, for me, it seemed like you had a lot of emotion in that character.
Yeah, and you know, it's not... Here's the thing, I'm playing him 2 years after the acts that he's committed. So, you know, it's not that hard to understand the regret and the grief he feels for those actions that he's done, and the horrors that he feels towards himself for what he's done. I think that made it easier than had I, had to play him 2 years prior, at that night. But yeah, I had to find a little bit of empathy for him, and really focus on his past and what his mother brought him through, and the drug addiction aspect of it. I have some addiction in my family with my aunt, and so I've seen what that does to people. And I guess all those things sort of helped me to form this character and try to understand what he's gone through and what led him to being the way he was.
And Dad, how do you feel about playing this part?
Well, when I first got the script, I read through it, and I was taken back by how the story turned out. I was like, wow, this is an interesting story. Well, and the first thought in my mind is like, for anyone to watch this, especially any female, would be some triggers and stuff. So, amongst my friends and people, I would tell them, like, be prepared if you come see this show, because it definitely could cause some triggers if you happen to have any trauma in your life, past trauma in your life, current trauma.
I read it, and I said, as an actor and as a person who wants to get more into it, I consider myself a professional actor, so I wanted to dive into this character. A lot of it, of Amstead, I can relate to. I'm very similar in character, how I am and how I carry my life. I am a father of 3.
1 daughter, 2 sons. Of course, we're protected with my life, and if something were to happen to them, of course, so it does come down to that point, like, would I be forgiving? And for me, knowing my core spirit of a person, eventually I probably would get to that point, because throughout my life, hearing stories, doing the kind of work I do, I work in the mental health field, and I've been around many people
who share their trauma stories with me, and what we talked about tonight, of reaching that point of forgiveness and stuff. Me as a person, I know, eventually I trust in how I truly am that I probably would reach that point, but in the beginning, no way. I will want to kill myself if you touch any of my children, like in that manner. So I saw the character, and I said, yeah, I would love to be a part of this. I was asked to do it. I'm always honored whether I ask or if I earn the part, but I'm always honored to play a role and try to give it my best, So it's a relatable character for me.
Now, from what you all
heard from us, would you forgive him for yourself?
I told you the other night, I don't know. I'm a parent.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It is. It's
But
hard.
I still think it's a great story.
And it needs to be told, because forgiveness is such a powerful thing. And tonight, y'all rocked it, but tonight you made me weep more.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you were really expressing to the dad.
You were so strong.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, yesterday you said no, and today you said I don't know, so.
I don't know if I could forgive,
Kidding,
but I could see, I could feel your pain even more tonight.
Yeah.
Talking to you.
Yeah, I mean, he's hard. I mean, even now I'm still kind of feeling like, from it, but I think he's just what life had made him. like unfortunate circumstances. You know, we talk about how Mercy and him came from the same neighborhood. The two characters are, you know, just showing like two different paths your life can take. Like, you know, what if it was Jack who was running around the neighborhood and Amstead wanted to take a picture of him? Could have had a completely different life.
Well, you know, in real life, the trials come out like whatever the story is, and you got the people who are digging because they're trying to find out why did it start, and then when they find out, like your past, your mom, then people say, well, now I kind of get it, why it happened. Not saying it's a reason or an excuse, but even today, people dig trying to find out what caused the triggers for it to even take place. Because you're not born that way. So what caused you to become the person you were? And we investigate that every day when people, because I'm in healthcare too, and some of this stuff, you're like, how did this person get here? And then you start finding out, and you're like, oh my God. And then a part of you even becomes a little sensitive to them because, like I said, you're not born this way. You're kind of made.
I mean, it will still be triggering. I'm pretty sure, even though my dad did forgive, but any little thing that he see, even if he see a little girl getting hit, that's gonna trigger him.
Yeah, because you can forgive,
yeah,
but not forget.
Yeah, so it's still going to be triggering.
It's how when your trigger goes off, how you handle the situation.
Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, till this day, I'm still triggered. I don't even like hitting. Like I don't play hit because. Especially with guys. If a guy hit me, I get very mad very easily because I remember what happened to me. So I just keep my hands to myself and
But you're a great
but you know, but yeah, it's still triggering. It's a lifetime thing.
Right.
But you still gotta fight it every day and say, you know what, no, this is not the person, this is the old me. I'm a new person now. I must go on, I must go on, I must go on, and don't let it tear you apart again.
And the way yours and Jack, I just thought about this too, like in real life, this happens and Jack becomes this new person. Jack might be the role model that helps the other inmates as they come in.
Yeah.
That could be the new purpose in your life.
Yeah. But he's gonna be locked up for good.
Yeah, but we still need the role models in there, you know, to help.
Ain't nothing free here, baby.
I wanted to ask you the true story. What happens to the character that's Jack?
How do you mean?
He stays in jail.
He's still in jail?
As far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah. I believe Jack is gonna be locked up for, I think it's a lifetime sentence.
Yeah.
Because he did more than killing her. He robbed her, he raped her, then he killed her.
And then he raped her again.
Then he raped her again. So all of that, and each of them are counts. So.
Yeah, if he didn't get life, he has a death penalty.
Yeah. I don't wish death upon him, but baby, he's gonna be locked up for good. Yeah, he needs to be locked up. Because when you make the bed, you gotta lay in it. Just because we forgive you does not mean you get to be free. Because even God forgives you, but you still get punished by him. So he needs to face his punishments.
Yeah. One thing I thought about was time, right? And how, so when I was younger, right, how I was then, what I thought I would do is very different than how I am now. Yeah. So when I think of that idea of forgiveness, I don't know, when I was younger, that wouldn't have been my go-to, right? It's what you grow into, and having had something done when you were younger, have to travel all this way to where I am now, and then things start to change, right? So, as you were saying though, it's some of those things are still like embedded, right? And so you can't just really like just say, okay, this doesn't affect me anymore. It does affect us, but I think that to the question of would you have, what do you think about for the forgiveness piece of it? I think that it would change over time. I think that any individual who has a strong opinion about something may die with it, but they've changed along the way, and they've seen different things if they're open to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, just the story must be good. I'm told. We need more.
We need more people to hear it, not just women. We need men to hear it, because there are men that are getting abused by their loved one, their parents and everything. You know, just because they're men, they still get hurt. They have feelings. They have bloods running through their veins. So they still need, we all need to hear the story. We all need to share that story. We need to help more life. We need to stop worrying about what's going on TV, because I don't know what they got going on. But that's what needs to be on TV, is what going on right now with these young, because they're still trafficking, child trafficking.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not just little girls or women now. It is little boys, and they have feelings too. You know, so this story needs to be told. It needs to be on TV. We need to get all this other stuff out of TV and put those stories on TV. Yeah.
And also beyond that too is that you have this specific story that people can relate to. Then there are things that are outside of that, like what you told, that story you told, totally reminded me of my brother used to beat me up when I was younger, and he said I don't know why I did it. And I was just writing a note to Doug. I was like, yeah, I know why. Our dad used to do that. So
and the worst bully,
right?
the worst bully, you know, I would not mind if a man had beat me from 11 years old till 19 years old if it was a strange man, because I knew that's a stranger.
The person that's supposed to protect you, your protection, the person that's supposed to give you all that shield to cover you is the one that's tearing you apart. Now you don't know who to run to. You don't know who to run to, so.
Well, thank you for sharing that part of your story with us.
Yes.
You don't have to answer. I don't know if you can hear the accent. Mike said,
all right. Hey, Shelly.
So your dad was here, you moved here to come visit him? Or-
My dad, yes, my dad's been here since 71. Then he brought us here in 98.
You guys are great.
Thank you, Tina.
So was it your mom, your other siblings, or was it just the siblings that came?
No, he brought mom and us.
Okay.
He brought all of us together. He got some good, you know. So I know we have to remember the most of the good and forget the bad. You can't. Hurt is hurt.
You know, but that was his first word. Right when I got out the airport, I was mind you, a little tiny little thing.
Because I think I'm trying to understand. Because I mean, I came here too from Haiti. My dad, you know, was living here or whatever. His thing was we weren't gonna speak Creole no more in the house. 2 days later, so I'm just trying to understand, like why would the first thing he wants to tell you is that he was gonna beat you when he doesn't even. He didn't raise you. Because to me it's weird.
Yeah,
like,
because
I feel like there was definitely something wrong in his head for him to say to you he was gonna beat you.
When demonic spirit is attacking you, it's attacking you whether that's your child, that's your mother, that's whoever. That's demonic spirit. Two things. It's because that this man probably was hurt from the past and he wanted to take charge. He wanted to feel like he has power. So he did it to somebody that couldn't defend themselves. But the moment I stood up for myself, it was a different story. He couldn't do it again. So just because he was my father does not mean he was a great father. Does not mean he was a great man. What about his past before he had me with my mother? You know, I wonder what he did to my mother before he had us, you know?
Well, that's what I said. Like, I can see maybe like, do they used to go to Haiti and visit you guys?
No.
So the first time you come here?
First time I met him, because he left me when I was like 2 years old. And then that was the welcome to America. And that hurt to this day. But it hurt. I never let it destroy me. I think when he said that I was so strong as a little girl, I never gave up, and I always put a smile on no matter what. I never called police on him. I could have, but I said no, because one day I know I'm going to gain that power. And I waited till 19 years old. I did gain my power. And I stood up to him. I said, this is your last punch. So I hope you enjoyed it. Because the next time you punch me, I did say that I was going to murder him by poisoning him. And I meant every word. But thank God for the prayer of my mother, that even though I had a bitter side of me. There was a good side that the prayer was covering me. It was a battle. I had to fight my demons, you know, and I had to win because it was death or freedom, and I chose freedom. And my freedom overcome him. He lost his power, and I gained all my powers. And that's what Jack had to do, and that's what Dad had to do. So, yeah, sadly, but it did happen. But he's now gone. I forgive him. Here I am telling the story.
We good? We're done?
We gotta get group pictures.
But thank you everyone for coming.
So good over here.
However you want to do it. I just, that's what I was about to say.